Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblix here, and today I want to talk to you about the Rebel Time Aviator Chronograph. How y'all doing today? So, we've seen this guy before on the channel. We did an unboxing, or first look at this watch, when I won it off the Watch Gang wheel. And I did a whole conversation about what the wheel was and how I got a hold of this thing. So I'm not going to go into all that again. I will link the previous video for that. Now this is after I've spent some time with the watch. I've lived with it, worn it for several days, gotten used to it, and we're kind of going to go over the goods and the bads about it. So let's pop the box and take a look at the Rebel Time Aviator Chronograph. First off, presentation, as we talked about in the unboxing, is excellent. Good job, Rebel Time. For a not terribly expensive watch, you did a really good job. Now, at least on this initial run here, instruction manual, blah 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 blah. This is how to use watch that you've been using since you were 10 years old. Warranty card, metal warranty card at that. Nice foam packing. Nice thick foam padding. In the box you also get a tool to replace the bands. Fantastic. I did contact Rebel Time about replacing these bands. I was prowling around on their website. They have this gorgeous navy blue canvas band that I really like, and it looks stunning on this watch. Unfortunately, they didn't message me back. I actually got a message back from the CEO of the company and said they just don't have any at this time, but he would let me know when they had more. So I thought that was pretty cool, but I haven't heard back from him yet, so I still wait. So here it is. The Rebel Time Aviator Chronograph. Now it's a boutique company. It's a small company. They just have a couple of models out there. Pretty much this one and I believe a black one. And that may be it. There might be another one. And it's not. They don't have a whole lot yet. I said they're fairly new. There's some heft to this guy. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. Now it is supposedly sapphire crystal. So excellent at this price point. And it does feel pretty darn thick, so I'm not too worried about breaking or scratching if it is in fact sapphire, which I have no reason not to believe that. Really nice polished stainless steel. I mean, look at that. Really good work on the stainless steel. And it is... I don't see that they indicate what type of steel it is. Yeah, it just says stainless steel, so we don't know if it's 316L or what type of stainless steel it is. Again, my theory, if you don't state what it is, then it's probably not the greatest. If you're using the good stuff, you put the good stuff. But I'm going to tell you, this stuff doesn't look bad, whatever it is. I will say the bezel, which is not a rotating or moving bezel by any means, but it is. It appears to be a screwed down bezel. It is not. I don't think these screws are. Pretty sure they're fake. Could be wrong on that, but they appear fake. They're all perfectly they're all flathead, and the heads are perfectly in line around the watch. That it makes a perfect circle around the watch, and you just don't find that in real screws. So I'm kind of not buying that those are real. But the brushed finish on the bezel is different than the brushed finish on the case. When you're looking at the case, if you guys, hopefully a camera will focus and you can see it, the brush finish here is different than the brush finish up here. It does kind of draw the eye away. I wish it was the same, because this brush finish down here is fantastic. It's gorgeous. This brush finished up here is a little bit lacking. It's almost non-existent to the point it's almost a satin. But the stuff down here, man, they did a great job down here. Of course, it carries over to this side as well. They've got this kind of interesting detail of an indent right here that, to where the crown and the pushers are inset into the watch a little bit. That's pretty cool looking. Nice little detail. And they've got the notches cut out here on the lugs all the way around, which are real nice. See right up here at the top. You will also see some beveling around the case, and it does carry around top and bottom, and it is polished. Looks really, really good. I just, again, they did such a great job on the case and kind of neglected the bezel a little bit, it looks like to me. And that's unfortunate because the bezel's the thing you see right off the bat. Again, don't want to knock them too hard because it's not by any means bad. I don't mean it to come off sounding like it's horrible. It's not. It's just details I noticed. Things that draw my eye away. Really love this meh. So when you see something so good and then you see something so meh right beside it, it just really kind of draws away from the greatness that it could have been. And that may be perfectly intentional. He may have, the designer may have wanted a satin up here. I just don't like it. I don't think it looks good with the brushed. I think it should have been brushed everywhere. I love the little polish bits in here. Those are great. The pushers, the crown, all polished. Looks really nice. It is a branded crown. I do like having a branded crown. Is a branded buckle. I like that as well. Also lightly brushed. Not as good as over here, but I can expect that more on a buckle because buckles tend to be a little bit cheaper and not as well made. Plus, it's so far distant from the watch, you just don't even notice the difference. I mean, you see a little brush here, you see a little brush there, and you go, okay, it's probably close enough. But these two being so close together, I mean, like, you can literally just sit there and stare at them side by side. You go, I don't know about that. Though there is a polish line right in between the two. A beveled polish line. Quiet phone. Wouldn't be a Noblix video without the phone going off. The case back. They did a great job here. It is, a raised Rebel Time logo shield here on the back. It's actually inset and then raised. It's really well done. 100 meters water resistant. It is a screw down back. It just looks nice. It does say Rebel Time Brooklyn, New York on it, and of course stainless steel, but doesn't mention what type or any such thing. Now, as far as the face goes, the face it's almost a champagne style face, but instead of in that kind of leaning towards, silver leaning towards gold, it's more of a silver leaning towards pearl. But it's got that, really satin sheen to it. Very nice, very well executed. I like it a lot. The numbers are actually cut out, and there is some material, I don't know what, can't possibly tell, below them that is colored in black, so those numbers shine through. Looks really good. There is a cutout in the center as well for the movement. So it's a multi-layer face, and it really, that multi-layer faces just look cool. They're visually appealing. They give a lot for your eye to search through when you're looking at it. Just a lot of things to see and look at. Let me see if I can get it up close and if I can get a decent picture here. Hopefully the camera will focus on that for you guys. Yeah, I think we got it. Really, really looks good. The sunburst on the 3 chronograph dials, or the 24-hour and the 2 chronograph dials. You do have a date complication down at the 4 o'clock. It gets a little lost in the busyness of the bezel when you're glancing for it. If you're like me and you wear 2 to 3 watches a day, I generally put on a watch in the morning. I put on a different watch when I get home in the evening, and I put on a different watch when I go to bed at night. And sometimes there'll be another change in there too, depending on what my activities are for that day. So if you're somebody like me that changes watches a lot, you find it hard to find that date complication on a busy face like this. Again, I don't mind a busy face. I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact. It becomes a little challenging for me to remember where it is, simply because the face is busy, but I don't find that to be a problem. But, if you're like me and you change watches a lot, that could be an issue for you. So I want to make sure to point it out. These little, I don't know what you call them, divots where the numbers are, is very cool, very visually appealing. And, of course, the minute markers in the middle, on this kind of angled edge look really nice. The hands, these, with the holes cut out on them, very reminiscent of Aragon. Aragon likes to do that as well, and looks really good. When they did the black tips, which is nice. One thing I don't like that they did, and again, it's one of those things I'm going to complain about, but I'm not going to fault Rebel Time for it specifically, because a lot of watch manufacturers do it, and it irritates me on every single manufacturer. I don't care whose logo's on the front of it. It just drives me bonkers when they put one of the small faces as the second hand, and what I would want to be the second hand static. That becomes part of the chronograph. I never use the chronograph. In general, I don't even buy chronographs because I don't use them. I don't like them. Not that I don't like the style or anything. I just don't use the chronograph function, so I have no need for it. So I don't want the big second hand to be part of the chronograph because I'm not going to use the chronograph. Personal preference, guys. It's, again, nothing against Rebel Time. It's just me. My personal preference. Take it for what you will. In this particular instance, they've got the small second hand on the dial down at the 6 o'clock. So that's your second hand. The large hand on the dial is the second hand for the chronograph. Not my preference, but it's how they've executed it here in this. Over here at the 3 o'clock, you've got a 24-hour hand. I do like having one of those. That's fantastic. So good deal there. And then you have your minute timer for the chronograph over here at the 9 o'clock. So all in all, not a bad execution. Just, a couple little things that I personally don't like. I'll start the chronograph for you. You can watch that. So you can see this second hand ticking as well as this second hand ticking now that the chronograph is active. The leather band, it feels a very good quality. It's a nice suede back here. It is branded. It is marked as genuine leather. It is marked as genuine leather. Good Lord have mercy. It is marked as genuine leather. How about that? I was actually able to do it. I have no doubts of that. Dual keeper, as we would expect. However, the first keeper is loose. You guys know my preference is to have that first keeper captive, but we won't hold it against them. A lot of manufacturers do it, and it is something I can work around. Again, personal preference there. Nice stitching. Right before the watch there, which is functional. It is holding the flap down, and good quality. Looks good. It's not fraying. It's not coming loose. It's not having little hairs poke out or any such thing. You also get the added detail down here. I love when watch manufacturers or band manufacturers do this. They put that little extra stitching down at the end of the tongue. When you're wearing the watch, the tongue is what you're going to see stick out, and you get that nice little detail right there, the contrasting stitching. I really like that a lot, and this is a good execution on that. Now, one thing I did find about this guy in my day-to-day wearing of him, and I will put a knock on Rebel Time for this. To me, this is something they should have caught and they should have addressed. I don't know if it's just my piece or if it's all pieces, though I have asked a few other folks that have received this watch if they're having similar issues. We'll see when they get theirs. I was wearing it, and I was hearing occasionally what sounded like if you had a water bottle and you crunch it in your hand like that kind of crunch sound of the bottle, the plastic bottle. I was hearing that coming from the watch, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the heck was causing it. I'm like, what is this noise? Where's this coming from? Well, What it is something to do with the spring bars interacting with the leather and the lugs. I don't know if you can hear that. Hear that? That's me. And all I'm doing is squeezing. I'm going to hold the band here. I'm going to squeeze the spring bars. Hear it? Just a light, gentle little squeeze. Barely squeezing at all. What happens as you wear this band through the day, you know, it twists and jiggles. And you get this popping sound. You hear it? It's annoying. It is just drive me bat poop crazy annoying. So, yeah. I did actually email the CEO of Rebel Time, sent him a response message, said, hey, love the watch. It's doing very well. Did run into this one little issue. He did know I was going to be doing a review on these. I did mention it to him. I always, like to be fair with people. And, also told him I'm a little nobody channel, so, whatever. But, I did mention this particular problem, and unfortunately I haven't gotten a response back yet. Or at least I haven't seen one. So, I'm sure he's a busy guy, whatnot. But it would have been nice to see, to hear, hey, we're, oh, I checked one of ours, I don't see that, it must just be something going on in yours, no big deal. And I'm not looking for a replacement or anything. I just want to know that, they know it's an issue, and, it can be addressed. And then it's not going to be an issue for you guys if you go get one. So, yeah, if you happen to have one of these, check yours to do the little squeeze test right there and see if you get the popping sound. Let me know down yonder. I'd be very curious. The keepers are stitched, again, with that contrast stitching. Look really good. They're not thin keepers. They're nice and thick keepers. So the watch retails for $240. Sorry, I had to double check. It retails for $249. With this problem of the crunchy bottle, I would not pay $249 for this. I do think there is a lot of value in this watch. The sapphire crystal, the fantastic milling on the case, the gorgeous dial. I mean, the dial work is excellent. The really quality way the case back is done, good quality leather on the band. I do think there's a lot of value to be had in this watch, and $250 is not a terrible asking price, I'm going to tell you. But I can't deal with that crunchy noise. So, yeah. All in all, it's not a bad watch. I do think some work can be done on the bezel. Definitely get rid of the poppy noise, and you have an excellent watch. So, would I go out and buy this for $250? No. If I were able to get it for $100, would I buy it? Just throwing an arbitrary number out there. Probably not, just because I'm not a huge fan of chronographs. If I liked chronographs, if I used chronographs periodically, yeah, I probably would, because I think that's a very fair price. I think $150, even kissing 200's pretty fair. For the, especially again, sapphire, good milling, good band. It's the Japanese Miyota, OS 20 movement. Miyota movement's nothing to sneeze at, so it's a decent movement as well. It's got some weight to it. It's a bit chunky. 3.7, definitely no lightweight. So let's check the size for you guys. And we'll go across the short way first. And we're looking at 43. If we go across the long way, we're looking at 48. If we go lug to lug, you are looking at a 52. And if you get the popping sound and need to replace that band, because it's either the band or the spring bar that's causing the issue, you're looking at a 22. Yeah. So I do like the quality of the leather. I got a feeling it's in the spring bar, if I had to guess. Yeah, something in there is moving. Something in there is wiggling that shouldn't be. I'd never seen that on another watch before. So, but man, the leather's nice. It really is. I hope it's not the leather. I don't think so. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the spring bar. I think they, tried something different or used something different or something, but I just don't like it. Loom on this guy is non-existent. There is no loom whatsoever, so definitely not a nighttime piece, a daytime piece. What would I use this for? Definitely a good piece for in the office. It's a looker. It's a pretty watch. Folks will comment on it. Look great poking out of a sleeve of a suit or a button-down shirt. Full sleeve button-down shirt would look fantastic popping out of the sleeve. Look great with polo and slacks, if that's what you wear into the office. Be a good weekend watch. It's a faux pas to wear leather in the summer, but I've never been one to subscribe to that elitist mentality. I like leather, and I will happily wear leather in the summer. So, wearing it as an activity watch, I think, is fine. You're probably going to have to replace that band a little sooner because you get sweaty. But while it is water resistant, could you go swimming in it? Sure. Would you go swimming with a leather band? You'd be kind of stupid. Replace it with a nylon NATO strap and possibly fix those spring bars. And then absolutely you could do some swimming with it. It is a free float crown. It is not screwed down, just standard push-pull. So you're not going to get that extra water protection out of there. That's why it's only 100 meters, I'm sure, even though it is a screwed-in case back. Yeah, so let's take a look at it on the wrist. Now, wrist check today. I am wearing a Vostok Europe Almaz Space Station. And this guy is in bronze. So the case and the bezel are all bronze, and it is pre-patinaed from the factory. So they've already, applied or had it. They chemically treated it to get the patina on it, and then they had an artisan actually peel away some of the older patina to make it look like this really cool looking piece. And then they put the distressed leather on it. Really, really nice piece. So we'll pop this guy off. Review will come down the road. Actually just got this guy today. He's awesome. But we'll know more after we've broke him in and had some wear time on him. So there we go, your direction. It's a good size on the wrist. And again, that silver is really excellent looking on the wrist, I think. I think silver watches look great on a wrist. I'm not much of a gold guy, but I think silver looks stunning. Let's put it on my way. Again, that leather feels good on the skin, looks good, has held up really well. I think the leather is a good quality. See here, just the nature of it doing this throughout the day, which it's going to do. It makes that cracking, popping noise and just drives me bonkers. But sure does look good on the wrist, let me tell you. And like I said, I did get quite a few compliments. But what would happen is I would do this, as I go down to type and, would lift my wrist or whatever, and kind of stretch your wrist out. That's where I would hear that popping, cracking noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but all I'm doing is flexing my wrist, and it's making the popping sound. So, yeah, that's unacceptable to me. I can't live with that. I wish it didn't do that. It would definitely be a fantastic watch to have long term if that were not the case. With that being the case, I can't live with it. It's going to have to go. I'll either have to switch out this band, which I hate doing because it's really nice leather, feels really good, or I'm going to have to replace the spring bars. And I hate, getting a brand new watch and then having to do work on it. It's just, if it's something like I bought it with the purpose of knowing I was going to have to change the band, then that's one thing. But if I bought it with the purpose, if I bought a $250 watch, and it has a nice band on it, I don't want to have to do additional work on it, like changing out spring bars. That's just crazy to me. So definitely a big ding on it. I really hate that is the case, because I really do like this watch, and I definitely like where this company's going. I like where Rebel Time's, the direction they're heading. I think there's a couple little quality controls. There are a couple of little quality control issues that if they would address, would make this guy stellar. So hopefully they will address them soon, and it will be stellar. And I would definitely enjoy having one in my collection. So I do think that is all the time I got for today. Sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. And until next time, get out there and make some noise. See ya.